So in the previous lecture, we learned how a firm maximizes profit under a perfectly competitive market. And we also learned that in a perfectly competitive market, you have a horizontal demand curve, which is also your price, average revenue, and marginal revenue. And perfectly competitive markets are characterized by large number of buyers and sellers, which essentially means that nobody has market power, which essentially means that everybody is a price taker. So in today's lecture, we'll focus on an issue which is called shutdown condition. Now, you may have heard so many firms like Uber or DoorDash or WeWork never earned any profits. And this is a big thing that many firms actually do not earn profits. Now, we all know if somebody is not earning profit, why do they stay in business? For example, Amazon also didn't earn profit for a very long time, even though they started in 1997, but they only started earning profit pretty late after 15 years of their operations. Now, important question to ask is that how long a firm should produce even if they are incurring losses. Before you go into that details, that when firms should produce even if they're incurring losses, first let me show you how to show a loss in a perfectly competitive market. For the purpose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a similar cost curves that I have done before. So I'll put my cost and revenue on vertical axis and quantity of output on the horizontal axis. Under a perfectly competitive firm, your price is equal to AR equal to MR equal to demand. And this is the price that firm is charging. We also know that firm faces an U-shaped cost curve, but under perfectly competitive market, if the firm is incurring losses, your average cost curve will be above the average revenue or marginal revenue curve. That means it should be somewhere here. That's your average total cost. That means it's above this horizontal line. What's the behavior of the average variable cost? Average variable cost will be below this line and it will exactly behave as it behaves in other cases. That means U-shape. First there's a big gap in the beginning and then that gap reduces because average fixed cost keeps on decreasing. And finally I'm going to draw a marginal cost curve and it will go like this. And the marginal cost intersects average variable cost and average total cost at its lowest point. Now let's try to see why this particular scenario is a loss. Now before we even go there, where the firm is maximizing profit also means minimizing losses. That remains same, where MC equal to MR. So this is the point where firm max profit or minimize loss. That means MR equal to MC. This firm will be producing Q star at a price P star. So how much is the cost here? Average cost. To find average cost, I'll just bring it up to here and so this would be, let's call it point A, we'll call it point E, we'll call it point B, and this is our O. So in this case, your total revenue, remember total revenue is price times quantity, which is OP star times OQ star because the firm is selling at the price OP star and quantity Q star, which gives you the area of the rectangle P star O Q star B. And how much is the total cost? Total cost is average total cost times quantity. Average total cost is OA, quantity is OQ star, which is equal to area of the rectangle A0 Q star E. And you can see that the AOQ star E rectangle, AOQ star E is greater than OP star BQ star. That means total cost is more than total revenue. So what's the loss? Loss can be shown as the area A P star B E. So the firm is incurring a loss equivalent to this shaded rectangle. Now this is how we show the loss. Now the question is that how far or how long a firm should keep on producing even if it is incurring a loss. To do that, we'll have something called a shutdown condition. Shutdown condition says that a firm should stop producing or incurring losses, yes, if total revenue is more than variable cost, or another way to put that, shut down if total revenue is less than variable cost or if price is less than average variable cost. Now, idea is very simple. Idea is that if price is more than less than average variable cost, that means more they sell, more will be their losses. That means they are not even taking care or getting enough revenues to pay for their variable cost. And mind you, if you remember, variable cost is the cost that varies with output. The more you produce, higher will be the variable cost. On the other hand, fixed cost is the cost that remains constant. If for some reason a firm is earning a price or selling a product at a price which is more than the variable cost, even if the price is less than the average total cost, which essentially means that the firm is getting back a part of their fixed cost. And that's why companies like Amazon, they kept on producing because they had a huge fixed cost. They built all these warehouses, so they knew that they are not going to make profit for a long time, but they can keep on selling it if their total price they're receiving was more than their average variable cost. And this becomes clearer in this next picture. If you see it here, which have average total cost, average variable cost and marginal cost. If price is below the average variable cost, which is this point, in this case, the firm needs to shut down because it doesn't make sense them to produce anymore because they will not be getting back even a part of their fixed cost. Mind you, fixed cost is gone if you don't produce because nobody is going to use your warehouses if you don't produce. So it always makes sense for the firms to keep on producing if price is at least equal to average variable cost. So shutdown condition tells you that keep producing if price is greater than or equal to average variable cost. If price drops below average variable cost, you should not be producing because you will incur even more losses if you sell more because your variable cost changes with quantity.